black people, we got to start looking at racism for what it was originally intended to be. See, we let society water racism down. And I know a lot of y'all don't know what that means. What it means is we let racism become personal, when racism was never intended to be personal. Its original intent was economical. It was meant to keep black people enslaved. And yes, today we are still slaves. Today, they got the majority of black people locked in and focused on the bare minimum, just surviving, just being able to survive. We got to look at that as a gift, because overall we don't have anything else. As a people, we got a whole bunch of bad habits. We got bad eating habits. We got bad spending habits. We got bad social habits, just the way we treat each other. And this American society has made sure to make it to where we feel like it's us against everybody else, us against our own. We all gotta be out for self, when truth of the matter is that division is the enemy of us all. Ideally, if we was able to come together and pool all our resources and get on the same page and move as one, we'll be a lot stronger. Is made up of 32 teams. 75% of the NFL is black. But yet, out of all those 32 teams, everybody in that room, the 32 owners, well, 31 of them are white.
With that being said, my number one principle, right, my number one rule is that I never take anything personally. I understand the importance of maneuvering with the logical perspective, right, away from emotional detachments and any personal vendettas, because I understand that that can be the means to my detriment. That can be the reason that I don't fulfill what I set out to fulfill. I try to be rational when it comes to showcasing my conviction in economics, because I have a deep understanding that we were socially engineered to the bottom of the totem poles. And that is shown with the average net worth of the white family, which is 171,000, and the disparity in which for the black family, which is 17,000. Now, that was done on purpose. That was consciously done. That was strategically done, right, through things like home ownership in the past, post-Reconstruction and doing a New Deal, things like redlining, things like the Jim Crow credit laws, things like, blacks being issued higher interest rates. When we were in search of just trying to get out of the ghettos and go into suburbs to better our family situation, right? That's how we were confined, right, to the bottom, right? That's how there's this huge gap, this $100,000 gap within the network of our different households, right? So that's how this was done. And so while they're sitting back and they're using our emotions against us, because that's how they get the edge on us. They use our emotions against us. And they've tilted the scale in their favor. And right now today, they're trying to ensure that those margins only increase. They don't want those margins to decrease. They don't want to be in equity with us. They don't want to have equality with us. Another thing he talked about was collective unity. And I feel like we don't have that because of social comparisons. We have that need to feel superior to our peers or our counterparts. And so that prevents us from crowdfunding and group economics and exhibiting trust and just collectively joining forces and implementing that strength in numbers, principle. And so that's our problem. Whenever it's time to go to war, whenever it's time to, produce something, we all go our separate ways. And we endure systemic racism. We endure prejudices. We endure these stereotypes that are all stacked against us. We endure that. But when it's time to combat those issues and stand together, we have a problem with doing that. And another thing that our oppressors, they try to use tokenism against us because they understand that one of us will break away if we seem to be the benefactor of anything. We'll break away from the pack. Another thing this good brother mentioned was the NFL, which is 75% black individuals, and every team owner is white. So we see that power dynamic. But one thing I don't like is the separation. I'm gonna say we got somebody like Colin Kaepernick who is standing for systemic racism, who is standing against those stereotypes, who is standing to provide us equity, to provide us with equality, right? He's standing for all that. But we got other brothers like Dez Bryant who like, oh, I need to feed my family. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. I need to make sure I'm good. And that's what I'm talking about when it's separation. That's what I'm talking about with that real unity and that togetherness. We don't have that because when it's time to go to war for each other and for us to be those trench warriors and those foxholes friends for our peers and the people that's standing next to us, we can't be that because we all have our individual agendas, which can be accomplished if we go after those collective goals together.